Welcome back to this Let's Play of The Last Remnant. Last time we arrived here in Elysian for the meeting of the Congress, and apparently someone's filibustering even opening the Congress by not showing up. This is sort of, again, something that I would not choose to include in design if I had a choice. You talk to this guy here, and he will give you a little FedEx quest to take a letter to Baltarosa, which is another city. And, yeah, I know, we just arrived in Elysian, and we probably should stay around, you know, just in case Congress starts up, but it sounds like it's going to be a while, so let's go off, and this isn't really a side quest, but let's do some exploring. Well, I guess the FedExing is a side quest, but we get the Southwestern road. And this area is completely optional. You could complete the game without going into it. This is the first of probably about 7 or 8 main areas, which are completely optional. I don't know why they decided to make so much of the game just completely missable, but they did. And if you decided not to take that guy's quest, I'm assuming that that's not one of the quests which disappears as you get later in the game. Many of the quests are not available, and sort of after a certain point. There's some money there. We're going to need about 20,000 gold to recruit one guy in Baltarosa, which we're not going to have for a little while. So I'm looking for a dig point and not finding one. That's sort of annoying. I'll have to... The wiki has some very good maps for where to find things. There's not anything in particular I'm looking for at this point. I'm just, you know, using up my digs. But, that guy was getting just a little bit too close for comfort. As always, I'm not actually going to fight anything at all. The whole purpose of this side mission here, well, other than to recruit this one character, is to get access to the Veil of the Gods. The Veil of the Gods is not, you know, there are a couple of quests that take place there. Again, this is all completely optional side quest area. But the Veil of the Gods has a couple of dig points which provide you with very valuable items. Not very valuable, but enough such that you can actually sort of, you know, mine for money there. Here's our random warrior woman who looks a little bit like Emma. And, you know, you just say hi. And I could go over to the guild and try to recruit that guy, but I just don't have enough money, I know that. And this soldier here, I think, has another quest. But, talking to her opens up essentially a new area on the Baltarosa map. And this is the guy we're delivering the letter to. And this gives Rush the ability to use the remedies skill. Now, depending on... There's a class change system in this game, and classes give you a variety of bonuses. There are 7 ranks of classes. I don't think Rush even has any class right now. But the 7th rank of sort of the fighter-ish class requires you to have a balance between use of items and use of spells. So I may shoot for that eventually, but in the short term I'm not really interested in it. And this is even worse than sort of them telling you where not, you know, what not to do, really. The bartender there, if you talk to him, tells you about the desert. And if you don't talk to the bartender, you can't get access to the desert. And if you can't get access to the desert, you will miss out on. Let's see, there are at least 2 cities back here, but... And there are a couple of quests I could be doing, but I'm not going to really worry about it. Some of the quests that are available right now don't involve any fighting, so I could actually just complete them. There's one that involves just sort of randomly running around this area until you find a shadow of a boy. It's something, I guess. But, as I said, the first thing I'm sort of interested in at this moment is recruiting characters that I'm going to use long-term. And this guy I can't afford is one of the sort of my endgame characters. Like Balson, he's available very early in the game. He's not the greatest of the great characters, but he's pretty good, and there's really nothing wrong with him. A lot of the high-level characters either don't have very good skill options, or they are otherwise suboptimal, but Caedmon also has quite a few quests that you have to do before too long. A lot of the quests refer to has to be, you know, if you look at the wiki, it'll say it has to be done before the aqueducts at Nagapur or the Nest of Eagles, which is essentially the 2 major events. Sort of with the Xbox 360 version that were on the, those were sort of the 2 major events near the end of Disc. But and again, I should probably be trying to find a dig point, but I'm not going to worry about it too much. The dig points here really are just items for your characters, so I'm not... For those, usually I'm looking to complete a recipe, and I'll just hunt it down when I know what I'm looking for. These big beetle things here, if you're going to grind something, and you want to grind something early in the game, they're good choices. They have a lot of hit points, they have a lot of defense, and fights take a good long time. I'm not going to bother with them, but they're there. I think you do actually have to fight some at some point to get components, but I don't need any of those components yet, so it would be a waste of time to find them now. And this is just walk, walk, walk. This is a huge area. I don't have the map yet, so it is just the Great Sand Sea, Syrian Cauldron. And this is the western exit. There's also a southern exit. And there's an eastern exit, which is part of a much later quest. Long enough walk? Anyway, here we are at Vale of the Gods. And there's another town down further, but where's this dig point? It's right there. However, of course, there are these crabs right here as well. As you might expect, crabs also have high armor and are decent sort of grind, but not grind. And so these rough siltstone here is what I'm looking for. I'll probably get 1 or 2 each time I go through, and I think they're worth 600 a pop. It's kind of tedious, but I want Caedmon early, so I'm going to have to do it. And I'll do it off screen. Alright, so I spent maybe 20 minutes just sort of bashing away at it. you can make that much more efficient by finding more of those places that give you permanent bonuses to your dig count. But this gives me some operating cash, and it means I don't have to sell any of the sort of more useful items in order to get, just to hire companions. And so we employ Caedmon. Now, just looking at his stats, or in the arts he has available, you can see that he's slightly better, more powerful than pretty much everyone else in my party, by quite a long shot. If you just look at his stats, he has 35 strength, 25 intellect. Pagus has slightly higher intellect, but half the strength. And, he is, let's just say, not a slouch. And he's something I'm going to use throughout the entire game. The really sort of the excellent thing about Caedmon, it just as it goes, is that he has both healing through herbs, and also has evocations and dual two-handed, and he's all sorts of good skills. Savani in general are the better characters. There's only one Savani character that sucks, and he's really not that bad. It's just that you can't recruit him until you're battle rank 80, and at battle rank 80, your main characters that you've been leveling up will be much better. So I'll actually bother to set up my my party when I actually think I'm going to get into a fight. I don't actually intend to fight anything anytime, well, not anytime soon, but for a little while yet. Before we get back to sort of the main plot in Elysian, I'm going to at least unlock a lot of the other areas, but I'll do that in the next video because we're out of time.